Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Motorsport Manager, the Underdog Challenge. We are very much near the end of Season 3, as we only have the Black Sea and the Australian GP left. So Russia and then Australia respectively. Also, don't forget that last race has double points. So that can actually be a very interesting one to see how it plays out. Actually, we overtook Rui's Motorsport by quite the margin, quite the leap in the last race. Now the difference between us and them is 25 points, so a huge swing in our favor. Same here, Tulipano actually got remarkably close to Sozev for the driver standings. So we might be able to win both, actually, do the double. We'll have to see if we can actually make that work, but for now, let's just do the best that we can. As always, I set up the pit crew to be as good as they can be. Made sure that the mistake is as low as possible. I decided to keep this 0.1 guide because I don't really want to swap him out for someone where, well, you're decent. Didn't cost us much in time, and at least now everything across the board is 0%, so very nice. With regards to our sponsors, we have one fixed payment slot that is currently open and two more that will open very soon. And I actually quickly wanted to broach on that, because last episode I asked you guys for some input if you know how the sponsorships worked exactly. For example, we currently have this Igon sponsorship, Saigon, sorry, which is giving us 1.25 million per race, which is insane. That's a crazy amount. I think in total it was for something like 7 races or something. So that's a huge amount of money in a very short period of time. And I wanted to ask, is there some trick where you can basically sort of force the game to keep giving you the better ones instead of, for example, Ambrosia is not bad at all. You get a 3 million up front, but the 400,000 per race isn't exactly great. As you can see, the rewarded to date is approximately the same, whereas Ambrosia is almost already done, and I think also took a lot longer than the Zygon one. And yeah, the total awarded to date amounts over there in the green are very similar already. So I would love to keep getting Zygon basically, but I looked it up actually. And I had to dig for quite a while because it's very hard to find reliable information on this game sometimes. I know some people have really dug into the code. I've seen other YouTubers play through it and really dig in, but I don't want to, demystify the game too much. I also like that there's a little bit of, let's say, ubiquity. Not everything is completely clear. Not everything has to be a mathematical best option, let's say. Sometimes you also just want to try a motor race and have fun. But yeah, I was really curious about this one. Apparently, there is a cooldown on these sponsorships. I don't know whether that is when you take them or when they end. I assume end. And especially on the level 5 ones, there should be a 170-day 117. That's an important distinction. Cooldown before they would show up again. So Zygon, for example, we shouldn't see for 117 days. And then it has the potential to show up again, if I read that correctly, which I think I did. So apparently it works like that. If you've heard of any other system, do let me know, because I'm very curious. I'd love to know more about how this all works. But for now, yeah, we have one empty slot, so we expect to get some money soon from that. And another few races or sponsor slots are opening up soon, so we can really start building our capital near the end of the season. Currently, we have one, decent amount of cash, 5.6 million. We have 2 more races where hopefully we'll be able to get the first place bonus, which is another 1.8 million plus what we earn standard. And then lastly, there's of course all the sponsor bonus. We get 5 million for the car that we need to build next season. And we get some merit payments based on how we do in the standings. I don't know if the current rules are it's standard merit payments. So there is a small difference, but not huge. We'll get more if we finish first, but not an insane amount of money. But yeah, let's get into it. I think that's enough talking for a little bit and just play. Podium for your team is a great result. Avio Tulipano raced supremely. How do you feel? He did race supremely. He came, I think, from 17th or 16th all the way to first in his home race, basically, because he is Italian and we did the Italian Grand Prix. So that was super fun. I feel great. This is all down to my driver. Let's give him the credit where credit is due, despite his morale already being what he needs. Yeah, great. Yeah, as you can see, home race win. He actually gets a buff from that, plus 25 morale, which is Not really necessary, but fun nonetheless. And then actually, Doug, thanks for pointing out in the comments that Vovsky here got a little bit of a morale, well, not debuff, but like he wasn't that happy from Milan. He got a minus 1.2 morale debuff, let's say. And that's actually because the morale is scaled based on what you choose as your sponsor objective. So since we keep choosing being first, basically with Stonewall Bank here, getting 1.8 million, one of our two drivers has to lose out on it. And apparently, in this case, Vovsky was not happy to get third in the Italian race, which seems a bit childish. I think third is a great result. Not everyone can be first. Well, by definition, only one person can be first. So that doesn't always have to be you, Stovsky. Even though maybe he just got used to it, because I think if we look at the standings, yeah, Vovsky over there in 12th, he won 3 races in a row, and then he got third in his 4th one. So I guess he just got used to winning a little bit too much, let's say. But that's okay. A new vote has started. Points for the top 5. I don't particularly care either way. I think we'll always be able to get top 5. But hopefully we're not even in this anymore next season. So let's just let the chips fall where they may. I don't care, to be honest. Yeah, this is fine. It's not like we need the vote. Let's just see what they actually prefer to vote against. So if they want to get in it, that's completely fine. Yeah, here's our sponsor offers. We have Rue Leroy, Jogo Games, and Bebelitas. I assume this one is a game company or like maybe a toy manufacturer, but Rue Leroy, I have no clue. Bebelitas, I don't know either. It would be cool if you could like read up a little bit about these fake companies and what they do, and you could actually maybe choose depending on what you cared about as a team. You know, like do you want a alcohol company, for example, to sponsor you, or a toy company or whatever else? That would be fun. Maybe there's a mod for that. Who knows? All right, so let's do some quick math. We have 11 races on this one, 12 and 8. 2.7 million divided by 8 is something like, I don't know, a little bit over 300,000 per race. So that's obviously not a good deal. Yeah, we would get it up front, but it's not like we need the money quick. Jogo Games, only 250 up front and 400,000 fixed. Also not great, because we actually get more up front here with Rue Leroy and also 700,000 per race. And it's a 5-star, so by definition, it tends to be better. So let's go with Rue Leroy. They should be on our car now somewhere. Yeah, there they are, right there on the little wing. Cool. All right. Well, 700,000 is definitely not too bad at all. I think that's quite a nice sponsorship deal. Obviously, we would rather have the 1.2 million ones, but I don't think there's too many of those. And the first dilemma of the episode then, Tulipano. Have you seen that article by UKSN? They said a dodo is more adaptable than me. A dodo! I mean, I don't really get the analogy, but I assume it's supposed to be insulting. I mean, okay, so Tulipano here isn't too smart, unfortunately. I guess that shows also in his focus stat, which is not too great. Actually, I didn't even realize your overtaking is only 6, Tulipano? I thought it was high up there because you overtook everyone in the last race, but I guess you do also have one of the best cars on the grid still. Good for you, even with 6. All right. What do you think? Are they right? If it's true, I'm going to make damn sure nobody can call me a dodo again. All right. So either we can tell him that he's great and he'll get the happy trade. I don't think we need that. His morale is already sky high after that last race. We could also give him the likes changeable conditions trait, and I think that is quite nice. Have a look. That's +2 adaptability right there. So he'll do a little bit better now in the rain and on the wets, I think. Oh no, only applies when on intermediate tires, not on the wets, but that's fine. So yeah, he's a little bit more adaptable now on the inters, which I guess doesn't matter so much since he was already at 19. A +2 is a bit of overkill, but that's fine. Just to quickly show you, by the way. We have nothing to work on. There's I know that I'm not going into this at all anymore, basically, for a lot of these episodes, but there is just nothing for us to actually do. We could, I guess, work on this and make that a very reliable brake, but it has a risk of rule break. For the 10 points, I'm not going to run it over the slightly worse part, just because well, if we get caught, we lose the part, which isn't the end of the world because we're probably not going to need it. But also, we get some points deduction, and that I definitely don't want. Yeah, and all the parts we use are perfectly reliable. They're at their max capacity in terms of performance, so there is no point whatsoever. Upcoming race, the Black Sea then. It is a 26 lap race. 40% chance of rain, so we do need to look out for that, and we'll be running the softs and the mediums. Cool. Let's get into it. Looks like Sydney is now running in the World Motorsport Championship. Also interesting, we'll be there next week. Alright, there you go. Is Saarinen gonna to retire? No one cares on our side, because we have our drivers locked down. So we don't care. Alright, let's get to the race weekend then. For this race, acceleration is crucial, and so are high-speed corners and top speed. So those second two are obviously spec parts, that doesn't matter so much. It is probably going to be quite hot over in Russia, I would assume. Looks like the predicted forecast is actually sunny now, so maybe that rain won't come to pass. Let's have a look. Did they say what the weather was going to be like? No. Okay, we'll have to see when we're actually over there then. We can't see what it'll be like just yet. I still think we just go for Stonewall. I know third is a lot more achievable, but, well, we have shown that we're very capable of going for the win the last few races, so I'm perfectly fine with keeping it like this. As always, we're going to give Fohovsky the better car out of the two, because he starts up further on the grid than Tulipano, who is now in second, so he has to start almost all the way at the back. I know last race he did really well. I guess he got some motivation from his home race, but for now, let's keep our strategy as usual. Fohovsky is going to be the one with the better car. We're going for Stonewall, and let's get into it. Yeah, Black Sea, that's... I don't know how hot it gets at the Black Sea, but they have a beach, so I assume pretty hot. Because no one is going to the beach when there's... well, it's freezing, basically. Then where would you go? Also, these are like, I assume, solar panels or something, so... well, there has to be sun for that, right? Alright, let's have a look. It is 12 degrees only. Alright, well, that's not beach weather. Let's get the two best people in terms of feedback, as always. I'm not sure, by the way, if we're going to be renewing Axel Dior. I like his feedback, I like his smoothness, but he's also a little bit pricey. I think when his contract expires, we'll be looking into whether we want to get rid of him. He's also shy and retiring, so I have no clue if he's even going to want to renew with us. But we'll have a look. Yeah, doesn't matter that much either way. I'm sure we'll be able to find someone else with a decent smoothness stat and a decent feedback stat. Feedback is the most important. Smoothness is nice in case we really need to use him if one of our main drivers gets injured. Lepano has similar smoothness, I think, as Fohovsky, so 8 to 10 is what we need to be aiming for. 8 to 10 on a 26 lap race is interesting, actually. Because we kind of need to be running 9 then, almost. Yeah, if we do the 8, then it's not going to be good enough. So we need to do 9 per tire. That's right in the middle there. That might be tough. We might do soft, soft, medium. At the very least, we'll do 2 stints of softs, as always. But we might have to do 1 medium run, in case we run our tires a little bit ragged with at least one of our drivers, as we usually do. But we'll see. Especially when it's 12 degrees. We've made this mistake before. If it's so cold, you don't want to play too aggressively with your tires, and then you have to bring them back again and try and cool them off, because with cold weather, it's so hard to keep the engines warm enough to even make that worth it. Because yeah, if it gets too cold, they start graining, and that's just all around a bad time, basically. So yeah, probably medium for the last stint. We'll have to make sure that our fuel can also actually bear that burden, but we'll see. Handling is atrocious. Let's bring the speed balance a little bit this way. See whether that works out. Alright. And bring him back in immediately again. Let's have a look. I do really love this track with the beach and all that, and just the way the entire map looks. Looks really fun. 87%. Right. You were good on the other side, so we definitely need to put the handling a little bit there. The grade I'm fine with, to be honest, so let's keep it something like that. Send you out. I think I'm fine now with just keeping you out, which means I should have given you a longer stint. I don't know why I didn't. But yeah, it's fine. Now on good, great. Well, 91% I'm fine with. Just get out there. I want to get that bonus. We'll send you out on an actual good long stint. Yeah, maybe Tulipano will have to immediately send out again. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's hope we can still get tier 3. We only brought him in twice, I think, so that should be fine. Handling feels great. No rain. Alright, good. Arrow feels good. Yeah, we might need to send out Tulipano once more. He's gonna do one more lap, I think. Yeah, this is gonna be his in lap. Looking alright. Let's see. Oh, we have a final minute. I think it's fine. Yeah, he's now on great. That's fine. We could have brought in Dior and checked, but it's okay. That's I'm happy with the tier 3 on both sides. That's worth more to me than that 4, 5, 6% of extra performance in the settings that we could get. Alright. Beautiful sunny day. A little bit of clouds. Also a little bit warmer than before. 16 degrees. I do quite like that. I don't like when it's very cold or very warm. Both of those can be quite bad for us since we don't have good insulation basically in our tires. But this is not bad at all. We don't have super soft, so we're not taking this trade. And let's have a look how much fuel we're getting. 11 laps worth. Okay, that means we can run it quite aggressively. At least on the fuel side. Because we get 33 laps worth, basically, if we refuel hard. Yeah, that's a lot of excess fuel. Alright. Sounds good. You are both on 8 to 10, yeah. Okay. And... oh, 8 to 10, yeah, okay. Well, let's run the fuel very aggressively and the tires a little bit less. And then we'll bring them back when we feel like we need to. We are starting somewhere in the middle of the pack. And 9th with Vovsky and probably second last with Tulipano. Joseph looks like he's going for the mediums, which I think could end up going very badly for him, but let's see. And we're not great off the mark on both of our drivers. Vovsky keeps the spot, but Tulipano immediately loses it to Sozev, but then overtakes right there at the end with a late break. Very nice. All right, Vovsky going for the inside move immediately. Cut a corner there, but the race the race directors don't notice. Great. All right, cut another corner. Race directors again don't notice. That immediately got him up into 3rd place. We are apparently just a bunch of cheaters in this team, but I'll take it when we get 3rd. Tulipano, meanwhile, I didn't even notice. He's shooting up as well. Got the fastest first sector of the race, up in 14th, so he gained about 5 spots. Vovsky here took 3rd immediately. So yeah, this race so far is working out great for us. Tulipano got both fastest sectors, so good for you. Vovsky, meanwhile, trying to battle for 2nd with Valdez over here, who seems to just have his number, but going on out on the outside, yeah, there you go. All right, locked in the 2nd place. We are churning through our tires though, and we do need to be bringing those back at some point. So I think what we're going to be doing is something like this. Give Tulipano a little bit more of a fighting chance, let's say. I'm not too afraid about Rogers there in the front. I think his car should be a little bit worse than ours anyway. Yeah, burn the fuel rather aggressively. Try and keep those spots that we just gained. Meanwhile, we're probably just going to ease up on the tires a little bit because we do need to make those work. Yeah, we've only done 2 laps now and we're already through almost 3 laps worth of tire. That's obviously not what we want. Looks like we're quite comparable though to Rogers and Valdez, so that's not too bad. I am stupid. No, I'm not stupid. Okay, I thought for a second that I was running the fuel and the tires in opposite directions, but That's not true at all. So, why do you have less? Yeah, because you're on a higher setting. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I thought it wouldn't. Let's do something like this for now a little bit. I'm gonna burn more fuel with Tulipano, give him the earlier exit. And also more of a fighting chance. Means he's also gonna go burn through his tires a bit quicker. That means for Vyhovsky I wanna pull back a little bit on the tires. And give him that extra lap. And maybe try and do 9 laps if possible. If we do need to do less, that's just the way it is. If we need to do 7 and 8, it's okay. But I think we should be okay if we run the tires a little bit less aggressively. We're within 1.5 seconds of Rogers, who I think is running a lot more aggressively on his resources. Yeah, so I don't mind. This is a gap we can bridge, especially with him going through his tires a little bit quicker than we are. That's okay. Meanwhile, Tulipano, of course, is shredding through his tires and fuel. That's okay. That's also why we're shredding through the fuel, because the tires are not going to hold up for as long, of course. Let's see, when we cross the finish line, what we're going to be doing. Theoretically, we could do 6 laps with Vyhovsky, and we've already done 4, so that would amount to 10. I'd be fine with just doing 4 or 5 more laps, to be honest. So I think what I'd rather do is 5 with you, 4 with you. That does mean you need to start easing up now. You can run the fuel aggressively enough for 4. It's just the tires that I'm a little bit worried about. It means we need to do about 10% per lap, because the cliff for softs is at 10. So we can, yeah, squeeze out another 40%, let's say. So let's do it like this. We'll run your engine as hard as you can, but your tires you're gonna have to ease up a little bit. And for you, if we're doing 5, yeah, let's keep your tires a little bit relaxed. You can run out pretty much on orange for the rest of the race, so that's not an issue. But obviously, we do want to stay near Rogers. But yeah, he's gonna hit that 3rd bandwidth soon. I think around 30%. They start complaining about their tires really dropping off before the cliff. Of course, the cliff is the true cliff, let's say. That's why it's called the cliff. But yeah, our tire is looking a lot fresher with Vyhovsky, so that's perfectly fine. We're still in that 1.5 region. I'm fine with that. That's a good gap. All right. You can run your engine also on 1 lap of overtake mode, let's say. And since we have 4 more laps to do, I'm cool with also now putting you on yellow, and if we really need be, we could put it back up a little. But yeah, as you can see, that temperature goes down quick, very, very quick, and it is 16 degrees. That's not even that cold. Very interesting. All right, Tulipano is doing all right. Where is Kumar and Sozev? I see Sozev. I don't see Kumar. Did he get replaced? No, there you are. Okay, in 14th. That's perfectly fine. Then we're ahead of both Ruiz drivers. Obviously, I would like Tulipano to get up a little bit more, but he's not that great at overtaking. Rogers, what happened to your tires? Oh, you're running them very aggressively. Feel like he's running it aggressively while also being too hot. I guess that's because he's gonna pit, but still. Could have squeezed out another lap out of those. Interesting. Alright, with Vyhovsky, we want to be doing another 3 laps. And that should work perfectly with his tires, because we have about 30% left. With you, that means we're going to do 2 more laps. And yeah, just keep you like this, honestly. You're burning as much fuel as you can. You have enough for 2 more laps. Yeah, honestly, this race so far is going pretty well. Let's see how we get out versus Rogers. He's going on the mediums already, which I think is a mistake. I would love it if we could stick on the triple soft strategy with Vyhovsky, and honestly, looking at how the laps are going, that should be fine with him doing 2 more laps. Temperature is slowly still creeping down, so that's slightly worrying. But I suppose it's fine. He only needs to do 2 more laps. Maybe if we really wanted to, we could do... That's awkward though. That's an awkward timing, let's say. We can do 1 on red. I guess we can just do that on the last one. Alright, you're on your last lap now. We need to pull you back a little bit. We can keep burning the fuel, but 10% is iffy on the tires there. And we're gonna bring you in for your first pit stop. Of course, give you all the fuel that you can have, just so we can burn it that much faster. 12-second pit stop, always the fast timing, especially with us having sort of a 0% mistake chance. That is perfectly fine. 22. We've been getting very lucky, by the way, lately with the pit stops. I think in 3 episodes or so we haven't had mistakes, and I don't say that to jinx this one. But yeah, I noticed that. It was rather interesting. I guess we also have had quite some strings of bad luck where we had so many mistakes in a row and also so many crashes in a row. So I suppose we're bound to have some good luck at some point, but it is interesting, let's say. Alright, let's put you up now. Hopefully we still don't get any mistakes, of course, especially with Vohovsky. If Tulipano gets some, that's not the end of the world to me. But if Vohovsky does, that jeopardizes our race bonus, and that is for now the most important part, besides finishing above Kumar and what's his name? Joseph. Alright, you are looking kind of fine. We have done how many laps? I think enough, let's say. Oh, we need to pull your fuel back a little bit to get the roundup bonus. What lap are we in? Lap 9, so we've done 8 with Vohovsky. Probably 9 when we actually cross the finish. So that is very good. That's right on track, even though we ran him on for red for quite a while. So not bad at all. Looks like we're not gonna hit the cliff, just about. So all around just a good timing. Batista is about 4 seconds clear of us. Kumar 10 seconds already. That's where you really see that this medium is just... AI doesn't know what to do with mediums and soft, and especially in races where running softs or super softs or whatever is the softest compound is obviously the best choice. That's where it becomes most notable, to be honest. I don't mind, I suppose, for the purpose of showing you how to promote, but yeah, it's something you can take advantage of. Let's say just pick out your strategy, stick to it, don't let yourself be influenced by them going on mediums. Mediums in the European Racing Series is pretty much never the right choice unless they change the rules for refueling or I guess length of the race or something like that. But normally it shouldn't be a big factor, let's say. How many laps do we have left and how are we gonna deal with our tires is now the question. We have 15 laps left? 16, alright. Okay, so 16 laps left. That means we need to be doing preferably like 7 more on these tires. Can we do that? Technically we can, but that also is gonna put our fuel in a little bit of a weird spot. You're the one with the worst tires, let's say. Yeah, we might have to bring Tulipano on mediums, I'm not sure, or just run him very non-aggressive, but like I said, with the temperature being the way it is, no rain either, I don't really want to bring him, or I don't want to run him on conserve or backup for too long, because you saw how quickly the temperature went down as soon as we put Vohovsky here on conserve mode. That just butchered his temperature, so yeah. I'm not sure. We'll get to that point when we get to it. For now, I think I'm fine with running on high fuel mode and just yellow tire mode. We are comfortably in first, I think. I don't see Tyler getting out ahead of us, so that's why I said I don't worry about Rogers too much. He went to mediums. He pushed his mediums very hard. As you can see, he's already half through them. Yeah, as soon as the AI goes on the mediums, and pretty much all of them have done so already, it becomes a rather easy race, at least as long as you don't crash or make horrible pit mistakes, let's say. So that's nice, at least for us. Tulipano is in 8th now. Yeah, I don't wanna push his tires too hard because he just doesn't have that much left, to be honest. But it would be nice if he can keep Sozev and Kumar behind him. Doesn't look like it. They're pushing rather hard. Yeah. We're also hitting the first worst bandwidth of our tire since we're now at 60%. That's not ideal, but again, as long as we get first and we keep our lead, I don't mind so much. It's definitely more about the money making now and keep making sure that our points are up there. As long as we don't horribly mess up the last race where we get double points, I feel quite comfortable in promoting, but let's see. All right, 14 laps left. Can do 6 more with you, 5 more with you, technically. That does mean we need to start pushing back now, basically to orange mode and keep the tires as they are. If we do 5 more with you, that's gonna take us to lap 18. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's 9 laps. Oof. That's awkward. That's very awkward for Tulipano. I think Kowalski is going to be completely fine with doing 6. And then we're just going to put him on the last stint of softs. It's just Tulipano I worry about a little bit. That actually means I think that I would rather push his tires and fuel the limit. We'll give him an earlier pit stop and then actually go to mediums for the last stint. Just because I don't feel comfortable with the coldness that we have here, that we can actually maintain those softs for 9 laps. I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's just a super unfortunate timing for him. So let's just run as hard as we can through this stint. Try and get a little bit of some spots and also get away from Kumar and Sozev here. See what we can do. He's overtaking people now left and right, so that's at least very good. We're gonna just churn through our tires and our fuel. Maybe try and do 2 or 3 more laps. 3 would be ideal. And then we'll do mediums for the last stint. That's fine by me. And then Volsky is gonna play it safe. He's already far ahead. He's 4 seconds clear of Batista and 11 from everyone else and further down. So as long as he doesn't have horrible pit mistakes, it should be okay. We could even consider giving him a safer pit stop to keep the lead, but let's see where we are in a while. Yeah, we'll have a look. Batista is also pushing his tires and car quite hard. Well, not so much, but yeah. Alright, Tulipano, I'll do 2 more laps, let's say, with what we have now. That should be possible. But some people are pitting. Liao here is pitting. Great. Yes, you're going to be fine with these fuel levels. Perfectly fine, as a matter of fact. Povsky, meanwhile, trying to extend his lead a little bit. Batista looks like he's the only real contender for our first place finish. Valdez and Jon Sotier, they're far behind. They also have worse tire levels, so not too worried about them. Then we have Tulipano behind them, who is of course going for an early pit stop. And then, yeah, let's see. We might have to bring back your tires a little bit. Not sure you're gonna be... Well, you have 15% by the time you cross the finish. Maybe 13. Yeah, we might have to pull you back soon. Yeah. Let's do something like this now. With 12%, he should ride out this stint comfortably. And let's also do this so we can get an easy pit stop. How much do we have left? Yeah, 10 laps. We could have probably stretched it to 9, but again, I'm just not comfortable. We've made that same mistake before with running out based on these estimates. So we're just gonna do mediums. We'll just run through the... We'll run through the tire a little bit harder. And we can put him on orange engine mode for the rest of the race, so that's still not a horrible thing. All parts are fine. We don't need to do anything about that. How are you doing meanwhile, sir? Looking perfectly fine with running out for 2 more laps. Might have to pull you back a little bit on the tires just for that last percent. We need about 10%, I think, on average per lap. Looking fine on the field. Let's burn for a little bit of red. Alright, Tulipano coming in. Again, no mistakes. Alright, one more pit. Hopefully no mistakes there either, but so far looking quite good. Alright, let's put you something like orange for now. I don't really want to go to red immediately with Tulipano, but near the end of the race we might very well do that. Yeah, let's see. And you should be fine to run out the rest of the race on orange engine mode. Looks like you'll be pretty much perfectly fine running on yellow on your tires, but let's be a little bit on the safe side. We really don't want to hit that cliff. That can cost you a tremendous amount of time. Like, let's say we hit our cliff like in this corner, we'd be so slow coming all the way through here. That's just not really worth it, so we might as well be a little bit conservative. We're actually coming up on Dreyfus here. I don't know what happened to you, but you were 67. Oh, okay, you're already at your second pit stop. I was about to say, like, we're almost lapping you. Alright, let's bring Volkovsky in before we forget. With him, I'm perfectly comfortable doing the last pair of softs. We have 8 laps remaining. So I think we want a yeah, because we'd be able to run out the race on red for the rest of the race. So let's do that. Yeah, that's fine. As always, we get the roundup bonus. We get a bit more of a roundup bonus by just running on red. Yeah, alright, there you go. Engine is looking fine too, so I feel fine running on red for the rest of the race. 70% is very high for your last stint. That's perfectly fine, and we timed the tires also pretty much perfectly. Very good. Tires going well. Refueling. Don't set the car on fire, please. Perfect. Alright, so again, a perfect pit stop weekend. I must say, for the last 4 or 5 races or so, our pit stop crew has done a tremendous job in the pits, because yeah, we've made very little mistakes. Very little. Very nice. I think early on in the season they had some troubles, let's say, but I also was forced to run some people that had a higher mistake chance because of not renewing some contracts at the start of this season. So yeah, I guess it makes sense since we have so little mistake chance compared to normal now, but still, I mean, 22% adds up. If you do that 4 times in a race, and you're bound to normally have a mistake, so quite happy about that. Looks like luck is on our side. Alright, on paper I think we should be fine. Batista here was our closest competitor. He's now coming outside of the pits. Starting to move. Oh, she is. Sorry, Batista. You are a she. I think we are perfectly fine. Yeah, we actually extended the gap from 6 seconds to 8 seconds, I think, so not bad at all. And then there's obviously some people still ahead of us. They need to get in the pits, but we are already so close to them. But I don't worry about that too much. Alright, so now becomes the easy part, and that's just watching our guys do their work. 12 is giving me a bit of a headache, so let's put it to ×4. Yeah. I think so far this race has also pretty much gone perfectly. Please don't crash after I just said that, Volkovsky or Tulipano. We definitely need Volkovsky at least to run out the race well. Tulipano honestly hasn't had the best race. We also didn't give him the priority in terms of strategy, to be honest. Quite obviously, him having to run on mediums is not ideal. But it is also the safer choice just to score some points guaranteed, I think. If we had put him on the soft, I know he could have placed higher if we managed it well. Maybe I should have, to be honest, but yeah, with the temperatures going the way they were, like even on yellow, you can see that it's going down. We could have maybe made it, I don't know, but I'd rather not take the risk, to be honest. And I think this is fine. We're guaranteeing ourselves that first spot. Tulipano being 7th now is also fine. I think Valdez is honestly not going to run the race out on those tires, so that should give us 6th. Yeah, and not bad at all. Alright. We have 3 more laps to go soon. Means we can pretty much run out on red. Also means we can probably push our tires a little bit more. Yes, you can't get past Valdez. I don't worry about that. He's gonna have to go soon. I don't think he's running out. He's hitting his cliff almost. Yeah, there you go. He's going in the pits. All right. But that is 6th now in the bag. Don't think we'll be catching up to Gerard. That is too much of a gap. And we do have to keep Sabato behind us, which might become a little bit tricky. He has fresher softs, and he's sort of on the same resources as us. Yeah, that is interesting. Now the thing is, can we give anything more to our driver? We're gonna try. Oh, he has a part issue at least. Interesting. We have 2 more laps to go, so I do think we can run out, or we can run on red for a little while. Not forever though. We do need to eventually pull back a tiny bit. And that eventually is pretty much now, if we want to run out this race. I also don't want to destroy the tires too hard. But we can run them a little bit into the ground, actually. I think they clip up at 5% from the top of my head. So we do have some playroom, let's say. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Sabato and Taylor. And this is where you see where we start to drop off quite a bit on these mediums. That's just not ideal, to be honest. Let's see what we can do. How are you doing meanwhile? Good sir, you are comfortably in first. Batista is your closest rival at 10 seconds behind. Your fuel is perfectly fine. Let's make sure that you run out your race completely safe. Just put it on yellow and orange. Meanwhile, you... Well, we're still ahead of Tyler. We're actually... We have a little bit of a gap, but you need to pull your fuel back if we're gonna make it to the finish. So let's put it on yellow. Might even have to go blue for a little bit. Get it right back. Come on. Yeah, excess fuel. There you go. Alright, so now it's all about Tulipano actually getting to the finish without getting overtaken. 5%, I believe, is where we're at. And we only have half a lap more to go. Let's quickly have a look. Kowski coming across the line in first. There you go. This one's for us, apparently. Thank you, Boris. Very nice. This is gonna... to the wire. We need to... Cliff is gonna get hit like right now. There you go. Alright, he managed to hold on to 6 right on the cliff. We just hit 5% and we also had 0.0 worth of fuel left. Yeah, obviously we weren't gonna get ahead of Gerard, but with having to sacrifice Tulipano a little bit in favor of Wachowski, I think that ended up quite well. I think in terms of points, probably not too much happened, to be honest, between us and Ruiz Motorsport, and that's perfectly fine, because we only have 1 more race to go now, and we should be sort of at the same level of difference in points as before. So yeah, not too bad at all. A decent race weekend. We get our race bonus, which is the most important part, besides just keeping our lead, of course. And it is all going to get down to the wire then in Australia, because yes, we have a comfortable lead. But with double points, anything can happen, to be honest. If one of our drivers crashes, they get 2 good finishes. That is very dangerous for us. Kumar here actually got the fastest lap bonus, so I think that means they probably... Yeah, they're gaining 2 points on us, because it's 20 plus 17 and 20 plus 15. So, alright, you win this one, Ruiz. You get your 2 points. Which is honestly a little bit impressive, considering that they actually, well, kind of. They did run a very great strategy because of the mediums, but they do have a better car, so fair enough. It's a little bit of a bad news for Tulipano, actually, because he could have gotten the lead in terms of the driver championship. Instead, we lose a few points too, but, well... Honestly, the driver championship doesn't matter much. It matters way at the end in the World Championship, because the World Motorsport Championship, that is. Because, of course, the end goal of this challenge is to win both the team constructors and the driver championship. So at that point, we'll start caring. But for now, I'm perfectly fine with this. Why did you get plus 6 morale? You finished in 6th. Our goal was like, what? First. So I guess some other things have to go into this morale thing. Maybe it's the car. He wasn't that happy with the car though. So interesting. All right, both our drivers weren't in great form, but well, doesn't matter too much, honestly. He did fine anyway. And yeah, we earn ourselves another cool 3 million, bringing our balance up to 9 in total now. Very nice, especially since we can still expect some more cash influxes very soon. Hopefully we can get another 3 million in the last race of the season. We also now have 2 more open slots and 1 upcoming. So that is all very, very good news, I'd say. Yeah, I definitely want to save up all this money and make sure that we can build the best car possible if we do promote to Asia. I'm of course going to try my best to make that happen. We are still 23 points clear. But like I said, last race of the season in Sydney, double point. So it's going to be a nail biter. I hope not. I hope it's going to be a boring race. We finish it out easily and we get the double points and, well, win. But yeah, anything can happen, right? That is racing. So let's see. I think for now, I think this was a productive episode. We made some money. We got the result we wanted, basically keeping the points sort of level. Hopefully we can do better even in Sydney next week. Well, I say next week, but it's in 24 days. And hopefully we get that promotion. It's all coming down to the wire now in the next episode. So for now, I want to thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.